Hey everyone, it's Lily here, and today I want to talk about something really close to my heart. Why so many English learners give up too soon. You start full of energy, right? You buy a notebook, download apps, maybe even watch your favorite English YouTuber every morning with your coffee. But after a few weeks, maybe months, the motivation slowly disappears. You feel stuck. You think, maybe English just isn't for me. But here's the truth. It's not about you. It's about how you see your progress. Most people give up not because they can't learn English, but because they don't realize how much they're already learning. Let's talk about this. Let's fix it. Because I promise you, you're doing better than you think. You know, I've seen this with hundreds of learners. The first few weeks, they're excited, practicing new words, watching English movies, talking to themselves in the mirror. Then one day, they meet a native speaker who talks fast, or they forget a simple word like kitchen, and suddenly they feel like a failure. But that's not failure. That's learning. Let me ask you, when a baby learns to walk, do they fall? Of course. But do they give up? Never. They fall, they laugh, they try again. And one day, they just walk. Learning English is exactly like that. But here's the problem. We expect results too fast. You start thinking, I've been learning for 3 months. I should be fluent by now. But fluency is not a number of months. It's about consistency. And honestly, consistency is where most people stop. Let's imagine this. You wake up early one morning and say, from today, I'll speak English every day. You practice for 3 days. Amazing! Day 4 comes. You're busy. You skip. Day 5, you forget. Day 6, you feel guilty. Day 7, you stop. Sound familiar? We've all done this. So here's a simple truth. Small, steady progress is better than short, perfect bursts. Even 5 minutes a day is powerful if you do it every day. Try this. Every morning, say one sentence about your day in English. Something simple. Today I'm making pancakes. I'm tired but happy. It's cold outside. That's it. You might think it's too small to matter, but after 1 month, you've practiced 30 sentences. After 1 year, that's 365 sentences. You're not just learning English, you're living it. Now, another big reason people give up. Comparison. You hear someone speaking beautifully, and you think, wow, they sound amazing. I'll never sound like that. But remember, you're hearing their result, not their journey. You didn't see the years they spent watching, listening, repeating, getting frustrated, and trying again. Let me tell you something real. Every fluent speaker was once exactly where you are. And even native speakers make mistakes. They forget words. They mix tenses. I do it too. Everyone does. Let's talk about a few common mistakes I hear all the time and how simple they are to fix. At a cafe, for example, someone says, I want coffee. Technically correct, but a bit direct. In natural English, we'd say, can I have a coffee, please? Or when you meet someone new, many learners say, I'm very happy to meet you. It's correct, but in daily life, we just say, nice to meet you. At home, I often hear, I'm boring. What you mean is, I'm bored. I'm boring means you make other people bored. So remember, I'm bored when you feel bored. I'm boring when you are the reason others are bored. At school or work, many learners say, I didn't went. But the past already has did. So we say, I didn't go. Very simple. Did plus base verb. C. You don't need hundreds of grammar rules. You just need to notice patterns and repeat them in real conversations. Let's try a quick conversation at a cafe. You walk in and the barista says, "Hi there. What can I get you?" You smile and say, "Can I have a cappuccino, please?" The barista says, "Of course. Anything else?" You reply, "No, that's all." "Thank you." They say, "That'll be $5. You say, "Here you go." Thanks. That's it. Simple, friendly, natural. When you practice small conversations like that, you train your brain to think in English, not translate. And translation is another reason many learners give up. When you try to translate every word from your language into English, it feels slow and stressful. You feel like you're always behind. But think about this. Children don't translate when they learn a language. They connect meaning directly. So, instead of thinking, mess at table. Imagine a real table, the object itself. Feel the meaning. That's how your brain learns faster. At home, you can practice this easily. When you pick up your cup, say cup. When you open the door, say door. When you cook, say, "I'm cooking rice." Talk to yourself. It's not crazy. It's brilliant. I had a student once who practiced talking to her cat in English. Every morning she'd say, "Good morning, Mr. Whiskers. Did you sleep well?" It sounds funny, but after 6 months, her speaking confidence grew so much because she was practicing without pressure. You can do the same. Talk to your mirror, your pet, your phone, anything. The goal is not perfection, it's practice. Now let's talk about something emotional. Fear. Fear of being judged. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of sounding silly. This fear is huge. It stops many learners from ever speaking in public. But here's a secret. Nobody cares as much as you think. You might say something wrong, and the other person will just smile and keep listening. They're not judging. In fact, most native speakers love when someone tries to speak their language. Imagine you meet someone who's learning your language. You'd feel impressed, right? You'd probably help them. That's exactly how people feel about you. So next time you feel nervous speaking English, remember, you're brave. You're doing something most people are afraid to do. At a restaurant, for example, you can practice confidence. You say, "Hi, can I have a table for 2, please?" They say, "Sir!" Right this way. You smile and say, "Thank you." Simple, polite, confident. Even if you make a mistake, maybe you say, "Table of 2 instead of for 2. It doesn't matter. You communicated. You succeeded. That's what fluency means. Not perfect grammar, but communication. And one of the most powerful ways to build that confidence is through listening. Listening helps you absorb rhythm, tone, and real life expressions. Try this. Next time you watch an English movie or YouTube video, don't just read subtitles. Pause. Repeat what you hear. Copy the voice. Say it out loud. Feel the sounds in your mouth. For example, if someone in a show says, "What you doing?" Repeat it exactly as they say it. Not, "What are you doing?" but, "What you doing?" That's how real English sounds. Little by little, your pronunciation, rhythm, and confidence will grow naturally. You can even make it fun. When you travel or dream about traveling, imagine speaking English in different situations. At the airport, "Excuse me, where's gate number 12? On a plane, "Could I get some water, please?" At the hotel, "Hi, I have a reservation under the name Johnson." At the store, "Do you have this in a medium size?" These everyday sentences are gold. You don't need fancy words, just real ones. Another mistake many learners make is focusing only on study, grammar books, flashcards, exercises, and forgetting to live the language. Let's say you love cooking. Watch recipes in English. If you love fashion, follow English speaking influencers. If you love travel, watch vlogs in English. That way, English becomes part of your interests, not a school subject. You'll find yourself thinking, oh, I know this word, or I. That's how they say it. And when you hear those little connections, you feel progress. Yes, that's what keeps you going. I'll tell you a story. One of my students, Maria, told me she wanted to quit learning English. She said, I'm just too slow. I'll never be fluent. I asked her, do you understand what I'm saying right now? She said, yes, of course. I said, then you're already fluent in understanding. A fluency has many forms. Listening fluency, reading fluency, speaking fluency. They don't come all at once. Maria realized she'd been improving without noticing. She stopped focusing on what she couldn't do and started celebrating what she could. And that changed everything. Maybe you're like Maria. Maybe you feel stuck. But you're not stuck. You're just in a silent progress phase. Learning English is like planting a seed. You water it every day, but you don't see growth immediately. Then one day, boom, it blooms. So please, don't give up during the quiet phase. That's when your brain is working hardest. Let's practice a few daily life examples to make your learning fun again. At home, I'm doing the dishes, I'm watching TV, I'm feeling sleepy. Very simple. Say them while you do them. At school, I forgot my pen. Can you help me, please? I didn't understand the question. At work, I'll send the email later. I'm in a meeting right now. Can we talk after lunch? At the shop, how much is this? Can I pay by card? Do you have a discount? During travel, what time does the bus leave? Is this seat taken? Could you take a photo of me, please? And for emotions, I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm tired. I'm grateful. Use them every day. Speak them out loud. The more you speak, the more natural you become. Here's a little trick. When you don't know how to say something, describe it with simple words. For example, you forget the word umbrella. You can say the thing for rain. That's fine! The person will understand, and you'll learn the real word faster because you used creativity instead of silence. That's how real communication works. And if you feel shy, remember, even native speakers use fillers when they think. Words like like, you know. So, when you pause, don't panic. You can say, well, let me think. Or, how do you say? That's natural conversation. Let's try a small chat you can practice with yourself. Hi, how are you? I'm good, thanks, and you? Not bad. I'm just a little tired today. Oh, same here. I didn't sleep well last night. Oh no, maybe too much coffee? Probably. I love coffee too much. That's it. You just practiced real English conversation, simple, natural, friendly. If you repeat little dialogues like that every day, your confidence will skyrocket. Now, let's talk about motivation, because this is where many people lose energy. At first, motivation is high. It feels new, exciting. But later, it fades. That's normal. Motivation doesn't last forever, but habits do. So, build habits, not motivation. Set small goals. I'll learn one new phrase every day. I'll watch 5 minutes of English before bed. I'll write 3 sentences in my notebook. Small goals create big change. And celebrate them. When you complete a week of practice, say, I did it. Smile. Reward yourself with something small, maybe a coffee, a short movie, a little treat. Because every time you celebrate progress, your brain learns that English positive feeling. And that's how you keep going. Also, please don't chase perfection. Nobody speaks perfect English, not even native speakers. Focus on being understood, not perfect. Think of your English as a bridge. It doesn't have to look beautiful. It just has to connect you to others. And if it shakes a little, that's fine. You're still crossing it. So next time you feel like giving up, ask yourself, why did I start? Maybe you wanted a better job, to travel, to connect with people, to feel proud. That reason is still there. It's waiting for you to remember it. You are capable of so much more than you think. If you practice a little every day, speaking, listening, reading, writing, even just 5 minutes, your English will grow quietly, beautifully, naturally. And one day you'll surprise yourself. You'll be at a cafe chatting with someone in English and you'll realize, wow, I just did that without thinking. That's the magic moment. So please, don't give up too soon. You're closer than you think. Keep learning, keep smiling, keep speaking. Because your English journey isn't about perfection. It's about progress. And you're doing amazing.